Hi guys, welcome back to Talks and Takes, and I appreciate you stopping by. I want to thank everybody because I just found out we got 50 subscribers. Isn't that cool? I'm excited. So little things excite me, I guess, at this point in life. So anyway, I thought I'd talk to you guys today about something that probably everyone goes through. And like there's this time where you're laying in bed at night and your brain just kind of kicks in, and all of a sudden the highlight reel starts running, and it's about everything that you've ever screwed up in your entire life. And every embarrassing moment, every wrong decision, every missed opportunity where you trusted the wrong person, where you hurt somebody, or where someone hurt you. And, maybe it's not the whole reel of your life that you're watching. Maybe it's just that one thing, like that one thing that you just wish you could have done differently. And that's what happens. And no matter how many times it replays, it always ends the same way. You can't go back, you can't change it, and you can't undo it. There's just no instant replays in life. There's no, take it back. Like how many times has someone said something to you and then it's like, oh, well, I take that back. Well, you can't. You already said it. You already did it. You can't take it back. You can say you're sorry. So if you're one of those people that does that, maybe you should think before you speak, which is interesting. Have you ever noticed God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth? Do you know why? So we can listen twice as much as we speak. So keep that in mind. But the past is one of the only things in life that you've really got zero control over. Do you realize that? You can't control your past. Now you can make a decision today that will affect your future, which is why you're going to hear me say all the time on this channel that just do the next right thing. No matter how bad you screw up, no matter what's gone wrong in your life, you can always choose to do the next right thing. Now, I say that a lot. I'm not the best at doing that, if I'm being really honest with you. So I'm a work in progress, but I think we're all a work in progress. But we can all choose to do the next right thing. So some people are not really living their life right now. There's times where, we're living in that moment that happened 5 years ago. We're living in that moment that happened 10 years ago. We might be living in that moment that happened 50 years ago, 40 years ago, right? And that tape just keeps replaying and replaying. So we're having, these conversations with people that aren't even there anymore. We're arguing in our head about it. We're trying to win a fight that already ended. And we're trying to redo a decision that's already done. That's what's going on in this head of ours. And we're never going to be able to move forward in life if we keep going backwards. I mean, think about this. You're driving down the road in your car. You're looking in the rear view mirror. How long is it going to be before you crash, right? It just doesn't work that way. Unless you're driving a Tesla, right? Because then you're not driving the car. You just plug it in. But for most of us, we don't drive a Tesla, right? We're in a real car. We've got a real windshield, but we're looking at this little tiny mirror to the back of us. And we're going to crash. And so the idea is to, you got to get that stuff out of your head. And probably I've talked about this before. I know that it takes so much headspace to carry all that weight, right? We're carrying this, and it's crap. I did a video on crap, right? Get the crap out of your life. Well, this is some of the crap you got to get out of your life, right? So you just gotta deal with it. So here's the truth that nobody likes, but everybody needs to hear. You are going to make mistakes in your life that you can't fix. And many of us have. I've made a ton of mistakes, some huge ones. And so when I'm talking to you about this, I'm really preaching to the choir, right? Because I've been down that road. So there's nothing you're ever going to hear me say on this channel that I can't relate to personally. And hopefully through all this, I'll be able to share some kind of wisdom here and there that will help you guys get to a better place. So not everything can be repaired. Not every relationship can be restored. Not every opportunity comes back. Not every mistake can be undone. Some doors close forever. That's just a fact. And if you spend your life staring at the closed door, you're going to miss all the doors that are opening for you. So you got to realize that. You got to look out the windshield. You can't keep looking in the rearview mirror. So there's a difference between guilt and growth. So I want to talk about that for a minute. So guilt says you made a mistake, you're a bad person, right? Or shame. Shame is horrible. Has anybody ever said you should be ashamed of yourself? I got told that so many times when I was a kid. Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. Really? Because that shame is like, I'm a bad person. And you're not a bad person, right? And you can always choose to do the next right thing. Here's what growth tells you. Growth says I made a mistake, so I am a wiser person. So that's also reframing, right? We talked about that before, how you reframe it. You can say, I'm a bad person, I'm a wiser person. You know, look what I did, or look what I'm becoming, right? It's all in how you frame the stuff in your life. And that's incredibly important. So I want you to remember that. Guilt keeps you stuck in the past. Growth uses the past to build a better future, right? And one destroys you, one builds you. The past is supposed to be a lesson. It's not a life sentence, right? It's a lesson. It's a lesson. So do you know why people can't move on? It's because moving on feels like admitting the past is final. And that's pretty scary. You know, I've got some things in my past, and maybe I'll share this with you at some point, but I got stuff in my past that horrified me, absolutely horrified me. And it was really scary, the thought of moving on. And over time, I've been fortunate to have some closure and issues, because I think closure is so important, and everybody doesn't always get that, right? It's like when someone dies and you don't have closure, if you don't have those fences mended, there's never that opportunity to talk to that person again. So that's something that's really important. But replaying the past doesn't change the past, it just ruins your present. Ever thought about that? You replay this stuff in your head all the time, and all it does is pull you out. It doesn't change anything about your past. Whatever you're replaying in your head, for you to move on, it did matter. It was real. It was painful. It was hurtful. It was all the above, right? It doesn't say it didn't matter. Moving on is saying it mattered, it hurt, I learned, and now I'm going forward anyway. Big difference, right? That's strength. Strength is not pretending you weren't hurt. Strength is not pretending you didn't mess up. Strength is not pretending you don't have regrets. My dad used to always tell me regret is a cancer of life. Think about that. Regret is a cancer of life. So when you're making decisions in your life, think about what you're going to do. Think about what you're going to say, and try to make decisions that leave no regret. That's one of the most important things you can do in life. So everyone you know has something in their past. Strength is saying, I can't change it, but I can change what I do next, right? So that's just doing the next that's just doing the next right thing. You've always got to do the next right, the next right thing. Everyone you know has something in their past that they would go back and change if they could. Everybody. If you're looking at that person that looks like their life is just so together, well, maybe it is. But I guarantee you they worked very hard to get it in that place. Or they might just be a phony, because there's a lot of phonies out there, right? But the reality is we need to work through our stuff. And we need to get our life together. So the people who find peace in life are not the people that had a perfect past, because nobody did. They are the people who accepted their past. So if you're watching this and you're stuck in the past, here's what you need to hear. You can't go back. You can't redo it. You can't change what happened, but you can change who you become because of it, right? We can either get better or we can get bitter, right? Always work on getting better. Don't let a moment from your past control the rest of your life. You're not going that way anymore. You're going this way. And this way is always forward. And let me throw a little caveat in there in this end thing, because in my life, one of the hardest things I ever had to do is I have dealt with some stuff from my past is forgive. And I'm gonna do another video on forgiveness. So that one's coming up. But the hardest person to forgive in your life is going to be you. To be able to forgive yourself, to be able to become comfortable in your own skin. That's a real challenge, to look in the mirror and really be happy with who you see in what you see. That's one of the biggest challenges in life. And so I'm going to encourage all of you that when you do have that reel running in your head and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, and you're still ashamed of it 20 years later or whatever the case may be, that's when you really probably need to start working on forgiving yourself, right? Because when you do deal with true forgiveness, that offense doesn't hurt anymore. And it could just be you, where you've really hurt yourself from some things you've done, but you need to forgive yourself and you need to be able to move on. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you, and we will catch you on the next one.